Welcome everyone. In today's video I want to go over something that I've seen posted in YouTube sometimes, which is the experience of fighting T4 with, you being T4 versus T5, because I do believe some people tend to kinda romanticize it too much, to be honest. I don't know, even sometimes trying to mean that you actually do better with T4s than T5s, and I just kinda don't get that point because, as you know, I fought with Illuminati 167 in this KBK. The enemy had several T5s, and I'm T4. As you can see, I'm gonna show my tech. You can see it here. I'm getting close on T5. Well, I'm pretty close. It's just a matter of speeds. This is finishing all this tech, this building on this strongest lord, which right now I'm pushing, and I think it's been kinda lucky because not many people, you have 4 people that really went for it, but no one else really pushed for it. So I'm kinda happy in it. I just wanted the top 25 for the unlock of League 1, to be honest. But look, if I can scrap some extra heads, so be it. But yeah, my point. I'm playing with T4s, okay. I'm gonna show some reports on screen in a bit. Sadly, if we check my reports, it's just this makes no sense. 1k, 2k is just super short-lived battles, not worth it, that we had yesterday. But even look at this, to be honest. You gotta bear in mind, in these reports I'm fighting on enemy territory, and I probably got hit for free, I think by one of the romanticise. Let me check if I find where. Yeah, get cooked. Because I'm pretty sure I had one really bad report from Margaret's side. Just pretty much farming me. Look, first example. Sure, I'm trading positive in power, okay? That means usually that you're kinda winning the trade in terms of resources, but still, I'm trading negative in terms of side ones. Of course, this is T5. As you can see, okay? But I guess this was not the report where I got. Okay, here. This is the issues you're gonna have with T4s. One, you cannot really. One of the main issues you have with T4s, okay, that people seem to not really explain, is that you cannot play alone. That's the truth. When you're in a KBK where there's a substantial amount of enemy T5s, and you're T4, you need to play always with your team. Okay, the moment you go alone and you try to do something on your own, this will happen, okay? The enemy will see your T4 and they're gonna farm the fuck out of you. Okay, look at the power I got completely destroyed. 30k sub ones. Now, people, I gotta say the average merit report I got in this KBK, I'd say is about 14k merits, okay? I will show some reports. I gotta say, first of all, one of the strong points that people say about T4s is that they are cheaper to heal, which in fact is true, but let's go for some stuff. Elixir doesn't care if the unit is T1 or T5, so when you're using Elixir, okay, it's 1 Elixir per 1 unit no matter the troop tier. That already gives T5s a huge advantage, because you're healing something that costs more resources, is more powerful, delivers more damage, takes more damage to kill than a T4, okay? Do you think if I were to have a full T5 Mage March, I'd have 30k sub wounds here, and I only dealt 3k? No, I'd probably have maybe 10k, 9k. So, elixir-wise, this is extremely inefficient, okay? That's why I'm one of the person, I heal a shit on this KBK in terms of units. In terms of resources, not that much, because especially mana. It is true though that you don't spend much mana healing T4s, but you do spend a shit ton of gold, stone, and ore, okay? I probably went almost through 1 billion of those, but then mana only 200 mil. But again, you have elixir. Absolutely not worth it compared to T5. These guys just spend 3k elixir, while I have to spend 30k elixir. So there's this more things that people seem to not mention when you're playing T4s into T5s, that sure, you can win some trades. I had I'm gonna be honest, probably 90% of my trades were negative and 10% were positive, so you can still get positive trades, but it's just so rare and is so elixir inefficient. Now I gotta say something else, okay? It is true that T4 costs less to heal than T5, But something that people seem to forget though is that you get way more seb wounds but being T4 than being T5. So you cannot really like look at it being cheaper by the correlation of one unit to one unit. You need to analyze, okay, if I'm getting here, for example, let's say 10k T5, if these were T5s, I'm getting 10k seb wounds, okay, this is 30k, is one T5 3 times as expensive to heal as T4? Because that's how you actually should check if, like, how much expensive it is to heal T4s, not on a one-to-one correlation, because that's not fair. You're gonna get way more seb wounds by playing T4s than playing T5s. So yes, one-on-one, cheaper, but 3-to-1, 4-to-1. I got some reports with my archers where I got completely destroyed. Because, like, something I will do in the video later on is rank what troop type I believe being T4 versus T5 is the most efficient ones to use. And I think that's kind of important. I'm gonna tell you already, archers are the worst, okay? If you're a T4 archer playing against T5, the moment you were step 1 millimeter, and especially with the new mechanic of the auto-targeting, you will get one shot. No joke. It happened to me 3 times this KVK. My archer march just disappeared. Like, literally instantly one shot. I saw some numbers of getting like 41k damage from artifacts from T5 marches. So archers are the hardest. Okay, like, I've seen it in my reports. My mages, honestly, like, mages are the best. My mages are doing decent because I have this range safety. I can kind of choose what I want to target. I barely never get targeted. Plus, they have some AoE damage that, like, AoE damage is T4's best friend against T5. Because, well, like, for example, let's say you have Gorshkol, Kuma, Li Quan, and then you have a Garwood Madeline, for example. If you have AoE damage as a mage, you can target the Garwood and you're gonna help kill the other T5 marches with getting 0 counterattack damage. Like, that's why T4 mages are so strong compared to archers. The issue with archers is you have no AoE damage and you're literally, like, you're doing a 1v1 pretty much with archers. The issue is the counterattack damage of some T5 marches is so high that it will literally outtrade you, even if you're hitting them with skills, with pet, with everything. So, for real, I know some people try to romanticize being T4 and, like, maybe delaying their accounts getting T5 so you get like that's fine, but you cannot really go that, like you cannot go to the extreme where you're like, I don't know, 70, 80 mil power T4. Like, sure, you have a shit ton of troops to use, but every single report is going to be a loss. And the more you get into T5 KVKs, the worse it's going to be for you. The marches I used, first one, Kinara Awakened, okay, Rattle Spear level 3, and I swapped to the Barbed Manticore recently, so it's still work in progress, with 5441 Nico, and yeah. So this was the Archer March. I gotta say, it's not bad. Is it the best March? No, absolutely not. The best match will be romanticise. But it's not like I'm going with a 5111 March. It's an Awakened Kinara. I'm getting destroyed just sometimes from counter-attack. Okay? Another March I used, Lily Awaken with Belin 5512. Infernal Flame level 2. And the pet, this is the pet. Again, not really a strong pet. This march is better than my Archer March, mainly because AoE damage and safety range, okay? Like, T4s are really struggling. Now, something that surprised me is the infantry. I gotta say, infantry T4 against T5 units is not that bad, because you're inherently tanky. So my 5551 Goresh with an Awakened Skull, Spiritborn Torque level 2, and this Venomous Lizard sometimes was even trading positive when I was getting stormed. And it gave me, like, the march that gave me the most amount of merits was the Mage one. Then my infantries, and then my archers. My archers were getting cooked, and even when I was microing them properly, just the counterattack damage, it was kinda destroying them. Because one issue with archers is that you're mainly hitting infantry. Like, that's the closest that's gonna be to you. If you try to step in to hit the enemy mages, you either are already on melee range of the enemy infantry, or you're just getting rage transfer by a 5 mage bomb, getting one shot and removed. So that's why I think in part my archers weren't doing that great. Like I'm using T4 archers to hit T5 infantry, which is extremely tanky. Even with the level 3 rattle spear that's hitting like for 800 to 1k the T5 infantry, I think that was one of the issues. Another march I used my Kuma 5434 with, I don't know what I was using. Something I was using my Madeline 5551, others my Mogro. Anyways, and I was using Bloodbite level 1 and these Monster Cowrocks. Okay, I mean the pet is not bad. Like I'm missing here 1 star because it's new, but yeah. But like the point, this was doing better than my archers. But overall, they were doing poorly. Look, I'm gonna show you some reports that I gathered. With the issues, I don't have the reports in the account, so I had to go through footage of me doing PvP and check for the reports. Okay, first report. Like what do you see here? 20k from my mages. That's decent for being T4. I'm not gonna complain. Here I was trying. This shit did not work for me. Like Kuma really needs someone with skill damage behind. Otherwise, you have a Mage that doesn't really deal that much damage. Like sure, Host helps a bit with increasing counterattack damage, but with T4 it's not worth it. Skogul Goresh, almost 20k merits, and then we have my archers, 6k merits. And then I have my mages again, 16k. I'm gonna go for another one. 16k archers, 5k, 13.6, 12.7. Okay, like archers T4 is really fucking rough. Except maybe if you're going with a 5 archer ball, so you kind of have all the units on the same range. Like for real, like. Well, here it seems I got hit by Behemoth on the archers. And well, here too, like archers are the hardest ones to play as a T4 versus T5. Archers T4 versus T4, that's fine. You're kinda even on stats, and you know, like that bump that archers have in terms of stats over, for example, mages will help you trade better. But T5s overall just have, like all T5s overall have higher stats than archers T4, so that's why they kinda suck. And last one, 24k merits here. Now my archers here did fine, but like this is my peak archer performance. Like that's the issue. Like this is my towards the higher end, towards my higher end mage report. But this is probably my top of the top. Like I think I got once, and it was fighting mostly T4s, 20k, 23k merged with my archers, and 6k here. Okay, so again. Can you play T4s versus, like, can you play with T4s on a T5 KVK? Yes, you can. I did it on my alliance currently. At the time of the data gathering, I was around top 10 in terms of PvP performance. Bear in mind, that doesn't mean I'm the one with the highest merits or top 10 in merits. That means for my power, to relation to the amount of merits I got, to the healing I did, etc., etc. I was top 10 in the alliance, which I'm really happy about. So you can participate, but you like for real, you need to have your expectations on point. You will probably lose almost every single trade. It is what it is, okay? Like you're gonna lose it. Resources wise, your gold, stone, and ore are literally getting deleted. Your mana will be fine, okay? Your mana will not be a problem. The issue is the other 3 resources. Again, that's the issue. So the tier list for troop types, I'd say the best one. When you're like T4 versus T5 mages, you can still trade fine. Like you have the safety of the range, as I said, AoE damage. Like it's the best one by far. Is the one that like whenever I was using Warlord, I sometimes peak at like 80 to 90k merits per report. Okay, like sure I was getting the healing, like that's why I was able to get there. But yeah, second one, Cavalry. Now. Cavalry is kinda like archers. If you get hit by a T5 and you're playing caps, you will get deleted. Now the good thing though is that you have a lot of movement speed, so you can choose who you engage with when you're playing cavalry, and that's the main difference. Like you don't need to be on the front line facing face to face with the T5s. You can be on the back line killing, for example, all the reinforcements and going for like their T4s or like weaker T5 marches, so you can still perform. Then it's just pretty much on skill based / decision making based. Okay, the next troop is gonna be infantry. infantry inherently is so tanky that even when you get hit by T5s, it's not gonna be that awful in terms of seb wounds. Like, yes, you will sometimes reach 70k, 60k constantly, okay? Like, you're getting stormed by 40 T5s, okay? It is what it is, you're gonna melt. And the worst one by far is archers. Archers for me are like I don't know. Like, archers in theory are a troop meant to counter mages. Well, you're not doing it even when you're T5, okay? But in theory you counter mages, you have higher stats, higher counterattack. The issue is the gap between T4 units and T5 units make that increase in stats irrelevant. They are mainly focused on single target DPS and small range, which that usually means hitting T5 infantry. If it's a scholar's goal, it's gonna outtrade you in terms of DPS just from counterattack damage. It's not that it deals a shit ton of damage, but it takes barely any damage and it deals decent damage, so it outtrades you. If you get, like, it happened to me, like, you will sometimes be unlucky and get, like, range transfer by 5 T5 mage bombs, and you will explode. Like, you will go, like, puff, you will be gone. It is what it is. Like, for me, that's the worst type of troop to use in these situations, to be honest, by far. But yeah, hope this gives you a bit of insight. Yes, T5s are, like, more expensive to heal, but if I'm getting so many seb wounds non-stop with T4 at the end, I'm healing more unit. Like, I'm ending up spending more healing because I have to heal like 4 to 5 times the amount of troops than if I were T5. Like, it's just too rough. And then when you use, for example, the Bloom Bolt, okay, you get elixir from there. Elixir maximum efficiency is healing T5s, not healing T4s. So yeah, again, I did find top 10 in terms of PvP performance. I'm happy with it. I'm a full T4 player, okay. You can do it, but try to avoid going with too crazy expectations, because otherwise you will probably not like what you will see on the battlefield. And I just wanted to bring a bit of light and another perspective on how it actually feels to fight T4s versus T5s. Catch you in the next one.